Hola mis tons. Perdón si me salté algunos documentos, pero aquí está la actualización, otra vez. Es porque estoy medio menso. Hola mis tons. Recién con las salidas de mi último video. Hoy haré una actualización. Dandys World es un juego de Roblox de horror con estética de dibujos animados, mascot horror, que ha tenido un éxito enorme, con millones de visitas, mercancía oficial, lucies, libros con scholastic, y una comunidad muy apasionada. Qwelver, es la dueña de Crunch Studios, y la principal creativa detrás de los diseños de Tons y el lore. La funa reciente, junio-julio 2026, se centra en su manejo de Rockservant, ex-co-desarrollador, y otras acusaciones de abuso emocional, mentiras y manejo tóxico del equipo. Ex-staff como Joji, ex-team manager, víctimas de Rocks y otros han publicado documentos detallados, Google Docs colectivos, con capturas, cimelines y relatos conocimiento previo de Rockservant. Rox fue despedido en octubre 2024 por grooming, manipulación y creación de material inapropiado, incluyendo alegaciones de Xen. Qwel dijo públicamente que no sabía la gravedad o que actuó rápido al enterarse. Pruebas de audio, agosto 2024, video de Ducadam, muestran que ella ya sabía detalles graves meses antes y lo llamó disgusting, pero lo mantuvo en el equipo. Víctimas afirman que sabía desde 2021.
Hey guys, it's me, Tech Adam. This is a video going over a voice chat that occurred in August 4th, 2024, 2 months before Rockservant was fired from Blush Crunch Studios. This voice chat, as a quick discussion over it, is one that explains Jake's actions clearly to Qwel 2 months before firing him, and she of course lies about this never happening, and of course about not knowing the information that she clearly gained through this call. As a quick content warning, this video will be discussing topics such as grooming, CP, Qwelver, and all sorts of awful things, and if you are uncomfortable with such, there will be a TLDR and a transcript linked in the both, well not linked, but in both the description and the pinned comment. I'd also like to give thanks to Chip and others, like the good chump, Qual knows who it is, that helped me get this video, and other people for helping in this video's creation. So, good job guys.
Send it. Yeah. Censored, but less censored. Yeah.
The people talking there are X-Trail and Void. I think it's Void. It sounds like Void.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. This is a drawing by Rockservant depicting an adult and a minor, both fictional characters, unlike his other art, which are both depictions of real people and both minors. Right? This is one in a pretty small series. There's one other art depicting these two characters. It's pretty disgusting. What is notable is that it is sent here and it is very little cropped. It's hardly censored and it's pretty obvious exactly what it is. And as you'll see, it is explained exactly to Qwel.
Like I said, it's deplorable.
Rockservant admitting that this art is bad.
I'm not gonna sit here.
So, okay, I'm trying to get the context of what's going on. Both of these were minors. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, in this drawing, it is an adult and a minor. Shinzu, the person speaking, is getting confused with other art by Rockservant, made under the exact same context as this one, as will be mentioned shortly. Although that art depicts two minors, being Gary and another anonymous victim.
One was an adult, one was a minor.
Rockservant admitting that this drawing depicts an adult and a minor, which does make it child pornography.
Oh.
Yeah, the Gary stuff was both minors.
X-Trail explaining what the Gary stuff is, so...
Yeah, that was the Gary stuff.
Rockservant admitting that the, quote, Gary stuff, aka his other child pornography, does depict two minors.
Okay, which was the Stickman stuff?
The Stickman stuff is a sort of lie that Qwel uses. It is fairly true for much of the art he had drawn, especially in some contexts where it was pretty poorly drawn, but that doesn't take away from the fact exactly what the art is, CP, because it depicts two minors engaging in sexual act. It doesn't matter on the skill or detail added by the artist, it matters on what the art actually is.
But this wasn't...
Yeah, I think.
Shit, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that drawing. I'm guessing...
it's pretty bad.
Rockservant saying it's pretty bad in reference to pretty much all of his art, not only the one shown, because, it's kind of the one he's more directly referring to, but again, the rest of his art is pretty disgusting. Rockservant here admits it is bad.
It's pretty bad.
I'm guessing the one with their tongue sticking out is the minor.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh my god.
Rockservant admits that fact, so pretty much admitting that, yeah, it is CP because it shows a minor in a sexual act.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's disgusting.
That is Qwelver speaking. That is her saying directly that it is disgusting and that she is not a fan of this art. So why did she keep him around for 2 months? The biggest detail is exactly what this disproves. A message from Qwel in her response to Parlo says that she hadn't known the full context of this art, even though in this exact call, she has the exact context explained to her. right? That being that it was made for someone else, that it's CP because it depicts an adult and a minor, as well as talking about other art that depicts a minor on a minor, right? And yet she didn't think it was bad at all, even when she saw one of the most in-detail drawings. And of course, as known by the Spooker messages, she was likely, and I say likely loosely because she like 100% did, years ago, that she was made aware of art Jake had drawn depicting Gary and another minor, as shown by her DMs with Spooker and what Spooker told him. Something that always pissed me off was, people always thinking, and Qwelver trying to say this herself, that it's not reliable because it's just Spooker's word, even though this is his direct responses to Qwelver in a VC, right? Only that his messages were archived. And of course, he tells Hilo that exact knowledge that he had gained from Qwelver, which would result in what would come.
But as I've told you, and I'll say to X here, I obviously vowed to never draw shit like that ever again, and obviously I myself don't support it. This was only drawn for this person.
This is technically true. Rockserpent well, actually not really. After this point, well, in the VC, he hadn't drawn porn for quite some time. The last time he did was some pretty disgusting stuff on the Rockserpent archive. However, that is not public because it's just gross, right? Though it does depict sexual assault. He is telling the exact truth about what this art is, that being that it was made for someone else, being Octo Trooper and the Octo Gang, right? So he's not lying here. He's telling the direct truth, and Qwelver's here to understand that, and is actively displayed that she is uncomfortable with the art, yet she does decide to keep Jake around knowing this fact. And because she knows this, and that, it's all this, right? She knows that this is art depicting an adult and a minor. It's unreasonable that it takes a far less awful drawing, I'm comparing CP here, to have him fired, because frankly, it wasn't the art that had him fired. It was more or less the fact that they were caught in what they were doing, right? It was obvious what that was. So Qwelver had to save her own ass there and fire rocks before people started looking into her more, and of course with people being content with only having rocks fired. Not understanding that Qwelver is an enabler and has allowed this from Jake for far longer, has actively supported him, and is just a bad person. Now, another thing I'd like to go into detail about is her lying about her involvement with Rockserpent's videos. So the third video, our final response, it's pretty obvious how she helped with that video. That being within her, having a segment within the video where she not only slanders a bunch of people, just lies straight to her teeth. When you know anything, you know she's lying throughout that whole segment, right? However, it is her first video that is the most important. The first video they made, in answer to allegations, I believe it's called, right? That one, in her response to Parlo, she said that she was working while Jake was doing that. However, I'd like to say, what work? But also, she was helping with the thing. She helped name it. She gave him feedback. She was part of the reason he even made it in the first place. And technically, a Duck Adam video was too, so that's kind of cool. I'd like to thank the people who helped me with this video, being Chip and others. Qwelver knows exactly who one of them is, and I know it's gonna keep her up at night. We're gonna have another nightmare, huh? That's a niche reference. Anyway, that's all, and I thank you guys for the support on this video, or maybe not support. All I want is that you guys take this into account more, that Qwelver did know exactly what Jake had done, as shown in this call, and a lot of other clips on this call. The existence of this call just proves that, yeah, she did know what he did before firing him. And the Spooker DMs also show that as well. Because frankly, she is one of the biggest reasons that Jake got away with everything for so long. And truly, I don't think someone like her, an opportunistic liar, should be platformed whatsoever.
With your faith and your feet and might you have those smiles on your face.
Manejo de víctimas y staff. Acusaciones de grabar en secreto a un menor, Sam, vulnerable que pedía ayuda, compartirlo para burlarse o desacreditarlo, presionar a staff, como Joji durante quimioterapia, campañas de difamación interna contra exmiembros, y enviar cease y desist a víctimas. Ambiente tóxico con DAS, llamadas de voz sin registro y favoritismo. Mentiras y silencio, muchas inconsistencias en sus declaraciones previas. Su respuesta reciente, documento corto, es criticada por centrarse en victimizarse por manipulación de box, sin abordar profundamente las acusaciones ni ofrecer accountability clara a las víctimas. La comunidad reaccionó fuerte. Boicots, creadores de contenido pausando fanart /dubs, servidores rebrandando, wikis recomendando no jugar temporalmente, y una petición en Change.org para removerla. Es válido y necesario que las víctimas hablen. Grooming, manipulación y exposición de menores son temas graves, especialmente en un juego dirigido a niños /jóvenes. La transparencia de documentos como el de Joji y testimonios cruzados, varios ex-staff coinciden en patrones de evitación de confrontación, mentiras y priorizar el proyecto sobre el bienestar, genera credibilidad. No parece una sola persona amargada. Hay un patrón consistente a lo largo de años, Pixel Beat, Blush Crunch. Presiona por accountability. En comunidades de internet, sobre todo Roblox, es común que devs eviten responsabilidad hasta que hay presión pública. El silencio inicial de Qwelver alimentó todo. Mob mentality y falta de matices. Muchas reacciones son quémala toda sin leer fuentes completas. Algunos defensores señalan que expulsar a un cofundador tiene complicaciones legales / propiedad de archivos, Rock supuestamente se llevó cosas, y que Qwelver pudo haber intentado contenerlo en un círculo pequeño, lo cual sigue siendo error grave, pero no necesariamente conspiración malévola desde el inicio. Hay vídeos hispanos que piden no saltar a conclusiones solo por un youtuber. Enfoque en el juego en vez de las víctimas. Mucha gente llora mi Comfort Game se arruinó en vez de priorizar apoyo a víctimas. Otros exagera con hostigamiento, aunque los documentos principales condenan doxing y acoso. Cronología compleja. Rox era amigo cercano de Qwelver por años. La gente cambia o es manipuladora. Juzgar intenciones completas es difícil sin su lado pleno. Su respuesta reciente, aunque débil, menciona manipulación por Rox, lo que algunos ven como evasión pero otros como contexto válido. Cancel cultura extrema. Qwelver es joven, empezó proyectos siendo adolescente. Errores graves no justifican destruirla personalmente para siempre. Separar arte del artista es debatible. Muchos siguen jugando sin gastar dinero, no apoya monetariamente, mientras esperan más info. Mi posición general. Las evidencias, audio, múltiples testimonios consistentes, inconsistencias en declaraciones de Qwelver, pintan un cuadro preocupante de mala gestión, priorización del proyecto sobre ética y falta de empatía real con víctimas. Qwelver falló como líder. Debió cortar lazos antes, ser transparente y priorizar seguridad. Su silencio prolongado y respuesta insuficiente empeoraron todo. No parece una inocente manipulada completamente. Hay responsabilidad adulta. Sin embargo, la funa se volvió un circo donde el odio colectivo opaca el llamado a justicia real. No todo es blanco / negro. Rox es el principal depredador, Qwelver habilitó y mintió. El juego en sí, creado por un equipo, no es malo, pero apoyar económicamente ahora es cuestionable. Lee los documentos primarios, Joji, colectivo de testimonios, el video de Ducadam y la respuesta de Qwelver. Apoya a víctimas sin acosar. Si el juego te gusta por lore / personajes, juega offline o en privado sin contribuir plata hasta que haya más claridad. La comunidad merece mejor liderazgo, y las víctimas merecen cierre sin drama infinito. Esto no arruina Dandys World para siempre, pero sí expone problemas reales en cómo se maneja Brush Crunch. ¿Qué opinan ustedes? Déjenme saberlo en la caja de comentarios. Nos vemos en el próximo piso.